Andy, can you just explain a little bit about your role and what you do at the club?
So my role is head of physical performance, and I guess it encompasses a number of different things. So I do a lot of my work on the pitch, whether that's doing warm-ups for the players, cool downs, monitoring them whilst they're on the pitch. I also take the players in the gym, whether that's for rehab, end-stage rehab. Asked Ross Goodwin, the physios, got to a certain point, or take them in the gym for their general strength and conditioning work. I would say primarily my role is to try and get players to avoid injury, and then secondary to that is try and improve their performance on the pitch, so the manager has as many fit players as possible at any time during the season.
Because people who watch our videos on a match day, you're the first person they'll see running out the tunnel.
Yeah, I spoke to Chris about that. I told him to video afterwards, but he doesn't.
So sports science, I suppose it kind of means different things maybe to different people, but it's something that pretty much every club seems to have now. How important is it, and especially in this pre-season period?
Well, I'm obviously going to say it's very important. It depends on the club, I guess. So for my role here at Kilmarnock, it's changed over the 2 and a bit seasons that I've been here. Now I help facilitate training sessions. So the manager's obviously been at a very high level, and he knows exactly what he wants from sessions. So I monitor them. I put on Player Tech, which is a GPS system. You might notice they've got a wee bump on the back of their necks. They're wearing a wee unit during games. They also wear that in training and during rehab sessions, so I can see how far they've run, how fast they've run. They also wear a heart rate monitor during training sessions, and we can see how hard certain parts of the training session is, but also how well they recover between efforts. Now the manager knows a lot about that, and I'll work with him to decide whether the training sessions have given the players enough, whether we need to pull back, push forward, or even occasionally give a player an afternoon off.
So we've spent 1 week in Largs, 1 week in La Manga, and then we've played our first game. So just talk through how those periods differ and what you're looking for in each period.
So I guess the first week in Largs, a lot of that was getting guys back to running, back to football, and with this manager, he's very much around the ball was in the session from the very get-go, which is brilliant for me. It means they start to work on movements that they're going to have to do rather than just running in a straight line, which very rarely happens in a game. So Largs was all about getting some running into their legs, getting them used to the football, and also getting their heart rate up, so they're working quite hard. Now that week was double sessions every day, with some gym work added in, just as injury prevention more than anything else. So that was a very tough week for them, trying to get just a volume of training. And we got the sunshine when we were there as well, which was brilliant. It makes anything that we do that little bit harder, so we hopefully get a bit more of an increase in fitness than we would normally do in wet Kilmarnock. La Manga was asking a bit more of intensity from the players, so they hadn't done as much maybe high speed running or shooting, some of these explosive actions. So when we were in La Manga, that was where we started to introduce that once they had a base of fitness. Now we've got a very fit squad. They came back in really good shape, so we were lucky to be able to put a lot of work into them. And then at the end of that week we had a small bounce game which got a few minutes under their belt, because it's obviously quite difficult with the Betfred to try and get players up to match fitness as quickly and safely as possible. So we got a few minutes under their belt there, and we played an in-house game as well to try and get or replicate what they're going to have to face in the Betfred. And then as soon as we got back, we had a few days to try and prepare the guys for St Mirren, while still understanding that it's pre-season and the work we do now will help us right the way through the season. So I think at the moment we're where we want to be. As has been in the press, it's very difficult to do this with the Betfred Cup. It's good that we get those competitive minutes and players are actually pushing themselves and having to prepare for games, which is brilliant, both physically and mentally, for a competitive fixture. and we just need to work hard to get as much fitness in them between games, and right the way up to our first game against St Johnstone.
I was going to ask about that, because the manager's obviously had his say about maybe especially the two top teams playing so early. It's slightly difficult to at this stage. You wouldn't normally have a player maybe playing 90 minutes, but you're kind of saying that the work that we're doing should have a sustainable benefit for a longer period.
Again, that's what you're looking for in pre-season. Now we look at our squad, we've got a few players that have not had full pre-seasons in the last couple of years, players that came in late last season or maybe going between clubs. So it's first time we've got a consistent group. Now it's really important we get a good few weeks of training into them, because as I said before, they do benefit from this throughout the season. You can gain a lot or lose a lot in pre-season, and the more we can get the players to do, and the harder they work at this point, will definitely help them throughout. So we just need to be smart with how we do it and how we get the players to the correct level for the first game of the season, or the first league game of the season, because that's what we're there for, is to make sure that they're ready and raring to go.